Today is January 24th, Friday. It's about 9:25, and basically been killing time for the past 2 hours or so. Waiting to go to a show that I booked for myself today down at Dad's Garage, like the Improv Central. Not really, but kind of Atlanta. And going to be going to this show called like Up Close and Personal or something, or Too Up Close and Too Personal or something like that. And looking forward to that. Friday night, so I want to do something a little bit special. And no one else that I know has made any plans to do anything, so I thought, if you can't beat them, join them. That's not really what I thought. What is this saying? If you want it done right, do it yourself, something like that. And so I decided to go to this show, and I got home, today. Let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was Thursday. And I spent most of the day with my friend Ben, but that's not really where the day starts. I started the day by biking, woke up at 8 o'clock, and I had a dentist appointment that had been made, I guess, 6 months ago. And my dad called me the other day, and my mom had called me before my dad had called, and my mom just told me that the dentist had the appointment, and I just told them that I didn't think I'd be able to make it just because it was somewhat short notice. Although we had planned it, I had just completely forgotten. And so I just said it'd be better just to cancel it because I didn't know how I was going to be able to get to Lilburn, and I certainly wasn't going to ride my bike, 40 miles just in order to go to the dentist. 20-something miles there, 20-something miles back. It's like the most ugly reason to go to Lilburn, and just the scenery that I'd be surrounded with would not be anything inspiring. So I had decided not to go, but my dad called me, and he was very, very emphatic about me going to this appointment because he would lose $25 if I didn't show up, the cancellation fee. And so I relented and said that I would do my best to get there Thursday. And so I woke up at 8, biked to Pineapple House where my mom works, and left around 9:30 or so, getting to the dentist's office about 10, which was 30 minutes before my appointment started. I definitely overestimated how much time it would take to get to Lilburn, specifically my dentist's office, from Atlanta. And so I waited for a little while. I had plenty to do. I had my backpack with me, so I had Eat, Pray, Love, which I've started reading again since Brittany and I broke up. It's been a very soothing book to read because I identify with Elizabeth, I forgot her last name, good Lord, Elizabeth, doesn't matter. I identify with the author in her struggle to find herself after her divorce. And to a degree, I even identified with that struggle to find yourself within or without a relationship when I first read it a couple years ago. And so rereading it now is very poignant, and I'm really enjoying it. But I got called pretty early. Basically, a couple minutes after I arrived at the dentist's office, they were ready to see me. And so I went in and had a really good talk with my dental technician. Everyone has a language, and everyone I don't know, there are archetypal personalities with humans, myself included, and if you can learn how to speak multiple, languages, so to speak, how people actually communicate, given the type of personality that they have, then you can really connect with, a variety of types of people. And so I had a really good conversation with her. She was from Colombia, and she was a Christian who had, I guess, been born again in the past 4 years after going to university and deciding to become a, dental hygienist. She had a child. She had a very interesting story, and I was able to ask her a lot of questions, and it was a genuinely good time, which I think few people can say that they had like a genuinely good time at a dentist office. So that was cool. I enjoyed that. That connection was real. It was good. It was almost malt-worthy. But anyway, after that, I left. I told her about my friend Noah, who is a photographer, and she just lit up like a Christmas tree. She was so intrigued by the fact that I knew a photographer. And she gave me this card with her email address, and she does makeup work on the side. And so she said that she would love to meet with Noah just to talk about potential, photo shoots and all. And I warned her that Noah's style is anything but conventional. But she was still very intrigued and kind of saw it as a sign, I think, that she and I had met during this dental thing. And so, I don't know, I immediately, after I left, or actually while I talked to her, I realized that the only thing that her skills would be useful for would be to make up Alex as a woman, and just the most bizarre photo shoot that Noah and Alex could come up with some sort of a professional makeup artist, doing Alex. It would just be hilarious, but I really don't think she would be into that, the dental technician. But we'll see what comes of that. I have her business card, and when Noah comes back from Nevada, Las Vegas, I'll give it to him. And after that, I came back to Pineapple House to drop off my mom's car, pick up my bike, and I was tempted to go to Trader Joe's to eat some food, but I wasn't hungry. And part of my Lent exercise is to not overeat. And so I decided not to go to Trader Joe's as just a show of self-control, and decided to go straight to Ben's house. And I had made plans to hang out with Ben, I guess Wednesday night or so. And so I just went to his house, which was a minor victory, in the style of Lauren, which is to say, I used to know a girl named Lauren Miner, and I like to say things that are minor achievements are minor victories, with a reference towards Lauren Miner for no particular reason other than the fact that her name was Miner, and is. So anyway, I biked to Ben's house, and we biked to Decatur. We actually ended up biking to Decatur twice. But the first time we biked to Dancing Goats to have coffee and talk, where I recorded a clip that I featured in the last mold episode, which I hope to feature another one of my friends in this one that I'm starting now. And we talked, which was a great talk. It took a little while to warm up to each other, maybe, 30 minutes or so. But the caffeine helped, and, it didn't take long for us to jump into real conversation. And it was a good time. He and I spent the whole day together. After we biked to Decatur, where we tried to meet Noah several times, where did we go? We biked back to... Good Lord, I can't remember.
This song goes like this. To the right. They talk at the shows outside this book. They don't love the songs, streets that they pave and the scars that they make. They don't love this land. They talk at the shows outside this book. They don't love the songs, streets that they pave and the scars that they make. Just off in this farm town of football and fast cars. No melodies came from their mouths and they never did their part. With this first sad song, can you serve with the birds? Tom's off track for so long. Lost am I still burning in this drought of dust for clouds of wrecks? Can burdens and bad in this profound and night slumber I confess? Whistling la da 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 la da da da. And song, can you sing with the birds? Tom's off track for so long. Lost desert deprivation, dryness of the words. With this bird sound song, can you sing with the birds? Tom's off track for so long. Lost desert deprivation, dryness of the words. With
We biked back to my house, and I made some food for us, and we actually sat on my back stoop, kind of on the stairs of my apartment, and just ate and talked and everything, and it was very picturesque. Ben pointed out that it felt like we were in a different country, and it really did, like South America or Eastern Europe or something. And that was cool. It was like I was conscious of the fact that what we did would one day most likely be a memory that we would like reference and stuff. And man, it's difficult to remember. We watched a bunch of videos of like drummers and just stuff that we were interested in currently. Just kind of rekindled our friendship, really. It was like a one-on-one all day. It was just very reminiscent of what we used to have. And after doing that for a while, I suggested that we bike back to Decatur so that we could go to the farmer's market because they have the most delicious dates there. And we did. And on the first trip to Decatur yesterday, I actually had my tire pop, my front tire, just inexplicably while track standing at the intersection of like Church Street and Trinity or something like that. My tire just started to just fart out all the air, and I was just very shocked and confused, and it didn't make sense. There was nothing sharp or anything that had caused it, and so I repaired my tire and was able to continue biking for the day. But it was just very strange. It was uncalled for. So anyway, Ben and I went to Decatur again, and ended up doing a little bit of shopping. Went to Kroger after that. I ate a bunch of dates, which almost transgressed upon my desires for this Lenting holiday. My new requirements for each day is that I don't eat anything aside from fruit or veg, like raw, after 9, and nothing but liquids after 10, just so that I can go to bed and not feel, overly full. And yesterday at the market, I justified to myself eating a pound of dates because I felt like I was still going to have to bike 8 miles or so just to get back home. So it wouldn't be like a big deal to my body if I ate a bunch of dates in order to fuel myself for that. So anyway, that was partially a mistake. It was a little bit too much food. And, I'll learn from that each day as I continue to find the balance between eating too much and eating just enough, which tonight I've eaten the perfect amount. I've been eating these weird bowls of cereal that maybe I'll talk about later because they're not very important now. But anyway, ended up spending a lot of time with Ben, and then came back last night around 10:30. What did I do? Good Lord, I know I was busy. I was pretty exhausted, but I did something. For the life of me, I can't remember. So, considering that, I guess let's skip it. And I went to bed around 1. So, this morning I woke up, and my front tire of my bike was flat again. It was the most, it's so bad when that happens. It's like, I have a whole day planned, which today I did. I needed to go to Pineapple House to pick up a letter from Ellie, one of the coolest, best people I met in Japan. This girl from Bulgaria who's extremely talented and just has the best English, this unbelievable ability to speak English. And I wanted to go pick up a letter that she had sent to me, which was a great letter, by the way. And so, unfortunately, I couldn't ride my bike, my fast bike, my road bike. But thank God I have 2 bikes, because I was able to just jump on my mountain bike, and I was still able to complete what I wanted and needed to do. Though it was very much so slower and more time consuming, I still was able to get where I wanted to go, and that's really what's important. So I got to Pineapple House a little late, because I woke up at 9 o'clock or so, which was okay. I wanted to wake up earlier, but I've biked in the past 3 days. I biked 120 miles, so sleeping in a little bit is justifiable. Plus, it was, in fairness, dark this morning when I woke up because it's been overcast all day, though it has not rained. It's just been the looming threat of some, I don't even know, insidious weather today. Hateful. So, anyway, hung out at Pineapple House for a while. My mom was sweet enough to give me some delicious leftovers and some juice that she had made. It's funny, these leftovers probably were not very highly valued by my parents, but to me they were like golden offerings to the gods that had been stolen and given to me instead. So I ate that, hung out at Pineapple House for quite a while, just because it seemed like it was going to rain, and if it was going to rain, I just wanted to wait that out at Pineapple House, but ended up leaving after a little while, talked to my uncle, who is the president of Pineapple House, and that was cool. He's a really great guy. Talked a little bit about the artist Fred Wilson, who started the last podcast, that clip of him talking almost somewhat vaguely about his craft and all, just because you as the listener couldn't have been there to know all the antecedents that led up to give the contextual base for what he was talking about. And my plan for today really revolved around going to Inman Perk and just working on Mold episode, which I finished, and responding to the You Are There girl, who I did respond to. And I was there for like 5 or 6 hours. I was there till 6:30. It's amazing. I think I got there at like 12 something. I didn't leave till 6:30. Just the whole time working, just somewhat incessantly. And it was really cool. And I actually talked to this girl named Ariel, or Ariel, I guess is how you pronounce it, if my memory serves me correct. And Ariel, I had commented on one of her photos because it was like bloody legs, which I assumed was because she might have gotten in a bike wreck or fallen or something. And I thought I had seen her Thursday when I was biking to Ben's house or something, and it turned out it was true. And so we talked about that for a little while, talked about where we were in both of our lives, and I think sometime this coming up week we'll actually see each other, which will be really cool. It'll be fun to meet up with her and talk and just continue to connect with people who I haven't connected with before, just meet new people, new experiences, so on and so forth. So that was good. Then I came home around 7 o'clock. I ate this weird conglomeration of food, not too much, not too little, and drank some coffee, rearranged my room, fixed my tire, hopefully. Only time will tell if I've actually fixed it. Listened to This American Life, 2 episodes, and now it's probably 9:42. Good Lord, I need to go. It's time to go to Dad's Garage for the show. And I've already drank a beer, like a really good, stout, big beer, Jailhouse Brewery, something or another. Noah suggested it. Shout out to Noah. He's in Las Vegas right now. And very strong beer. So any sort of weirdness in terms of content or vocal auditory quality right now is due to the fact that I am pretty buzzed off that beer. Not completely drunk, but definitely feeling it strong. And so I need to go on ahead and get ready to go, because I don't want to be late to this thing. It says to show up at 10:30 or whatnot, and it doesn't really matter. I'm sure if I get there a little bit late, whatever the fuck, who cares. I'm going to sneak in a little bit of wine. We'll see if that works. I bought this bottle of beer the other day from Trader Joe's, and it was like a nice fancy bottle with a stopper at the top. And I've kept that bottle, and I put some wine in there, because I don't really want to buy, expensive beer at Dad's Garage, but I do want to get more drunk while I watch the show. And it's from 10:30 to 12, and so I should enjoy it. And it's my Friday night, self-made. It's a do-it-yourself Friday kind of night, and so I'm going to go straighten up my room again one more time, and then I'm going to head out and go to the show. And I'll have more to say about stuff later. Peace out, much love, take it easy.
If it gets uncomfortable in here, then we're doing our job right. And now please welcome the Dad's Garage Improvisers! Yeah! That's how you warm the butter, people. Everybody take a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, that choreography was brought to you by the National Endowment for the Arts. Your tax dollars well spent. Now you might be wondering what's going on tonight, and this is what's going to happen. Several of you out there requested personal stories from these improvisers.
No more.
So Jake, again, what'd you do today?
What did I do today? Let's see, I started the day by working. I had to work at 10 o'clock, which was a little bit rough because last night I did quite a bit of drinking with a couple of my coworkers.
Uh-oh.
Went to East Atlanta, had a bunch of adult beverages.
Did you go to the graveyard?
I did.
Really?
I did go to the graveyard.
Huh.
We ended up there. They're having some kind of dubstep party.
Oh, I saw that about that on Access Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't know. I mean, you were there. You tell me.
It just seemed like there was a DJ there, and he was like playing. He had like a projector. He was playing some movie, but there's no sound. Just really loud dubstep and but there's tons of people there dancing.
And so you drank a little bit, stayed up late a little bit.
Got home at 3:30.
Dang.
Super drunk. And then had to be at work at 10.
Rough.
So you do the math.
Sounds like you woke up around 9:30.
Yeah, that's about right. but like, the thing is, like, when I came into work, I was hungover. I was feeling really shitty.
Yeah.
But after I started working and kind of focusing on doing my job, I started to feel really good and actually had a good day. I had a little bit of coffee, and I feel like I was just on today.
That's awesome.
Doing my shit.
That's great.
Handling my biz.
Nice. What time did you get off?
Like 3 o'clock.
Excellent. What'd you do after that?
After that, let's see, I got some cheese bread from Village Pizza.
Well, here we go. Did you eat that bread, perhaps?
I ate it, and I gave some to some of my coworkers because they gave me a lot of it. And
they gave you too much, or they gave you the right amount?
Too much. I couldn't eat all of it.
Oh, okay.
It was like a pizza-sized thing of cheese bread. So it was cut into like over 20 pieces.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So there was a lot to eat.
A lot to eat for sure.
And let's see. Talked to one of my coworkers for a little bit. A few of my coworkers.
You don't have to worry about anonymity on this podcast. You can.
It's fine.
Okay, it is fine. I'm saying it's fine.
Well, it's fine.
You don't have to say coworker.
Oh.
You can use names. We're not
Okay.
afraid here.
There's this girl, Jin.
Okay. Alias or real name?
I think it's her real name.
Okay.
I can only assume. But yeah, she went to Parkview.
Really?
Yeah.
Jin Kim?
That's what he said. I guess that's her name.
Is she Korean?
I don't know.
You would know if she was Korean, right?
It is. Does she look? Is her complexion kind of similar to?
Your complexion is different than hers. So what
I'm
nationality?
Korean.
She could be from
Korean?
North Korea.
North Koreans and South Koreans generally look pretty similar.
Generally, but in this
Is
situation,
it Jin or Jen?
Well, when she told me, I thought it was Jen, and they put it on the schedule as Jean.
Asian or Caucasian?
She's Asian,
that sounds like Jin
but
Kim.
she added me on Facebook, and it was Jin. Like
That's Jin
drink.
Kim.
Okay, all right.
She dated
Yes,
Andrew.
Yes, she did.
Okay, case closed.
So you know her.
I know of her. She has a reputation.
What kind of? Oh, okay.
Just that she dated Andrew.
Okay.
I know that she dated Andrew. So, Alex, what did you do today?
Hey, wait a second.
Oh, you're not done? I thought the cheesy bread was definitely the climax of your story.
I drank a mimosa. That's champagne and orange juice.
Thank you.
All right. That's all.
This is a very erudite audience. They know what a mimosa is.
And then Alex was like, or Alex
I
called.
want one.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
For the record, he didn't say that.
He called me and I called him back and he said he was going to Subway. So I was like, why don't you come scoop me up?
That's exactly what he said.
Scoop me up.
And then on the way there, I had the ridiculous jacket verse stuck in my head where you're like, some people want to scoop me up, poop me up, and fuck that goofy stuff. Some
Police
shit. You should do it
Spit it.
the real way.
Yeah, spit it. Ew.
Oh, wait.
Alzheimer's.
Police teams want to scheme to defeat the jacket, but I'm relaxing because I'm super clean. County and state troopers want to scoop me up and coop me up, but fuck that goofy stuff.
Fresh.
So, but those just 3 lines, the oop me up lines,
Yeah.
rhyme scheme was recording over and over again in my head.
It's a very sticky rhyme scheme.
Unendingly. And then I picked his dumbass up.
That's true.
So,
It's like manifestation, manifest destiny.
did you guys go to the one on Edgewood?
Yeah, exactly.
You heard. You heard.
Represent Edgewood Subway.
Shout out.
So what have you been doing today, Alec?
I woke up this morning.
Did you work?
It didn't work.
Cool. It is Sunday. The
I woke
Lord's
up and
Day.
I was like, I want to get something for breakfast. And I drove around for a long time, drinking coffee, listening to the Brad Mehldau CD that you gave me.
What do you think?
I've listened to it a few times and I like it.
Is it?
It's fucking good.
Yeah. Is it all that it's cracked up to be? Do you think he's the contemporary
I don't
genius?
know what it's cracked up to be. I have no idea about the width of its crack, but I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know about it being Bill Evans' contemporary, just because nothing holds a deeper place in my heart.
Brad's
as far as
music.
pianist.
Yeah.
But he's good.
His music seems a lot more sad to me. Brad's.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Meldau.
Mehdau.
Meldau.
Mehldau? Yeah.
Meldau.
I'm having a meltdown.
But ended up having a huge ass breakfast, like giant breakfast.
Did you go to-
I had scrambled eggs with mushrooms and peppers and onions.
Did you make this?
I made it.
Oh, okay.
And bacon and toast with jelly and orange juice.
Sounds very American.
And then I took some vitamins. And I returned Shine, this movie Shine, starring Jeffrey Rush as a piano prodigy.
Did you
Picking up signal.
Did you watch it?
I watched it.
Was it good?
It was good.
Shine.
You like movies?
I like movies.
Jake, I think you have a future career as an
I like music too.
interviewer.
There's some music inside, right? About to happen right
Oh,
now.
it's not. Yeah, we probably should go inside.
Did you like the movies?
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna...
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. It's actually really funny because, like, this song is written about a tattoo that I'm getting, like, right down the road. It was really funny. I was like, hey, I'm going down in a few days. I'm playing a song about it tonight. This one's called Fields of Lavender. Oh, wait, oh, never mind. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of nervous. Guys, I'm trying to start my song, so can you be quiet? I've had dreams about you. I've had memories inside, come through the darkness into my mind in the nighttime. Left without a mother, left without a hand to hold when there is darkness. I had nothing to keep my heart from being cold.
Let's try it without mics. Okay.
Oh, it smells of lavender fields and a joyful home. Make my heart full. The sight of your pearly white smile as the sickness takes its hold and burns what I know. My heart is made of gold. I grew up like you wanted me to. I saw the heavens as you descended down from them. Flowers in my hair, you smell in the air. I took your love and let it grow. Mama feels that we wouldn't
In your opinion, in your experience living in Atlanta for however many years you have, what has been the single or perhaps the top things that you feel the city needs in order to become a healthier, better city for living, and I guess to encourage people to want to live in the city? Because I know people like my parents, they don't even want to live in Atlanta for a host of reasons that are mostly having to do with crime and safety and cleanliness and stuff like that. But as someone who lives in Atlanta, what do you feel are the areas that need the most attention?
Wow. Your other question, your first question was about MARTA.
Well, yeah, MARTA, I mean, when I was on MARTA, I realized how awful it would be to have to depend on that system to actually get around Atlanta, and just how I feel so bad for the people who don't have transportation of their own, just to have to rely on a system that's got to be, all the time late, just not very efficient because of traffic. I mean, it's just, compared to Japan, which is not a fair comparison, MARTA is a very sick system with a lot of problems, I think.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you totally.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the basic reason to me that underlies everything is racial.
Mm.
That's Japan is a homogeneous society,
Right.
and this is not.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you can easily take the position that that's a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
or you can understand the strength that brings a place.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and I talked about that briefly too, about the fact that there is this level of there's not as much individualism in Japan as there is in the United States. So I think, it's always interesting to me why the United States is always so emulated.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? I mean, we're only 300 million people.
Right.
And I mean, I guess part of it has to do with the economy, and everybody likes somebody that's got money.
Right.
It seems like, but it seems to be more than that. There seems to be something about the way we embrace freedom and individualism here that attracts people. But for whatever reason, I mean, they have Nigerian rap music.
Yeah.
We don't have any whatever kind of Nigerian music here.
Right.
Or they
right.
don't have,
Right.
they have Japanese rap music.
Right.
Why is it that?
Why is our culture?
Why is our culture emulated?
Right.
So, and I think it seems that it must be for some sort of genuine reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Young people don't tend to identify with things because of fashion. I mean, because of, that's not true, they do, but because
But the opposite of that.
Yeah, they tend to, go with things that kind of resonate.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't like tradition so much as what's popular.
Yeah, or what's different.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tend to look around and find the truth in things.
Mm-hmm.
Young people do.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as two answers. But as far as the transportation system, we don't really have a transportation system in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not a public transportation system.
Mm-hmm.
We have a, we move working people around inefficiently with no sense of responsibility to them because they just are not empowered because of their economic, status.
Right.
Whereas the Japanese, the executives of Fujiyama or whatever, a big they're riding the system, and they're not going to stand for it being late, and so forth. And I think really, and I think, I guess it's partly racial, and I think it's partly this quote unquote love affair we've had with our own, with cars and our ability to have the freedom, and the not what's the word, to be alone. Anyhow, the freedom,
Solidarity or something.
solidarity,
Yeah.
or solitude that you can have freedom and interaction, or you can have solitude. And I think people, you can't have solitude on the MARTA bus.
True.
You can't have it on even on a Japanese train.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
you just sort of are sitting there. It's efficient, but you're waiting to get to the point to kind of get off of it, get to the next thing. I think. So there's that problem, but you know, I think for so many years we just had this idea of this suburban.
Commuting
this suburban life with a lawn and so forth. And I think people are beginning to realize that you really give up a lot with that. You give up the contact that you have. You give up the community feel. And I've never been to Japan, and you've never been to Europe, but it's a different sort of. I think these cultures view it differently. They embrace and celebrate the interaction that they have when they're on the simplest of things, like going to the bread maker, or going to the store, or going to. Whereas we tend to isolate ourselves, you know. But I really think that it's just gonna take time, and people like me are gonna have to die off. I mean, I don't think there's anything you can do in a very quick way. We've set in the motion. We have this, you know, the rapid transit system, and that is a good thing. I mean, that is something that eventually will sort of spread out. But this bus feeding into it stuff is anachronistic and is totally not designed for the end users. You know, not comfort, but just to really be a true transportation system.
Right.
And, but I think you know, I don't think there's any quick solutions. I mean, I really think, and we're going through it right now. This whole thing with the collapse of the economy, and people are beginning to realize that why should I work so hard to drive so far out to have this big house that I have to mow the lawn with and all, when I really could be downtown in the community, and I could walk to the store and walk to church and this, that, and the other. And so, you know, eventually those fears of crime and so forth will, I mean, they're self-perpetuating. If you're not here and nobody's here but, you know, the criminals or the homeless people, then there's going to be a little bit more crime. But I mean, I've lived in town my whole time here, and I don't really see any. I mean, I don't really think about crime and that kind of thing. But I think to make the cities, I mean, I think they're trying to make the cities more livable. That you have to, that it's going to take this march toward tightening up and just getting more back more toward the city. And I don't know what we're going to do with all these suburbs, and I guess the population will just sort of fill them up. We'll just become one big mega city. But I don't think that. I think the march of history is toward the collapsing back into the city, and I think that is going to occur. And you could see it in a myriad of different things. You can see it in the young people's desire to live in the city. You can just, you know, the price of gasoline and all different kind of things like that. But I think primarily it's going to, over time, you know, the newer generations are just going to demand that, and it's going to change the character of it, you know. But if I want to do it before I die, I'm going to have to go to Chicago or Atlanta, I mean, or to New York, or even Washington. I think Washington, you know, not in the suburbs, but, you know, Georgetown. Washington is a very usable, friendly city.
So in order to experience it, you'd have to go where it's already established, to a city.
Yeah, because it's just not going to happen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, and you think about Atlanta, I keep hearing it has 5 million people. Well, that's a lot of people, and yet we don't feel that way. The reason is it's so spread out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's not like Manhattan where you know there are millions of people right around you. You know, we kind of, you know,
shut ourselves off.
We shut ourselves up. There's so much room that we just sort of, you know, go to the Kroger or go do our thing. I mean, even me, I just go to work and go back to the loft and then walk in Carter Center Park in the mornings. And, you know, I don't really see we're not really dense. We just, I mean, real cities are dense. I mean, Jim and I were walking around Hollins this Sunday.
Yeah.
And we've done that now. That's our routine now is we drive into Hollins on Sunday and we walk in there to do something different. Well, this weekend we were talking about how really small and tight the city is. But you really can walk the whole city in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of delightful. I mean, you can walk to the school, you can walk to the church, you can walk to the shopping area, you can walk home. A lot of the houses, everything is just. And you know, we got away from that with the car, and it's going to be. You know, things are pushing us back. High prices of gas. You know. Mideast stuff. Being so interconnected too is one of our. I think it was somebody said on TV, it was a general or something. You know, to such a primitive society because you know to me, I mean, I'm beginning to call a spade a spade. Those are primitive societies. You know, when you don't have respect for basic human rights and women's rights and stuff like that, we just see the world differently.
True.
But anyhow, that's way off in left field. So we're dependent upon you know getting along with these folks, and maybe we should just live close to the grocery store and not have to worry about all that. I mean, there is a solution to it. Most people aren't like you and me. You think about it in a bigger way. That you know we fund the terrorists. I mean, we flat out fund them. We don't want to. We're not doing it directly, but you know, we're funding it.
True. And so then I guess ultimately it reminds me of two things. One thing that you said that I've always remembered about that, you actually kind of reset it in a way that Martin Luther King quote about how the arc of history is long, but it
bends toward justice. Right.
Yeah. So it will eventually move towards what is best, but it will just take time. There's no catalyst, there's no impetus that you can.
Well, sometimes there can be a catalyst, you know, if you have and things can change dramatically. If you have a war, or if you have, I mean, there's all kinds of catalysts that can happen. But for the most part, it just takes the march of time.
Right.
But people. You know, the direction seems to be in every way. You know, contrary to what Rick Santorum thinks and some of the other, you know, genius politicians that. And you know, and I think Rick Santorum was probably a very nice guy, but I mean, you know, the good old days were never the good old days. These are better days, and you can pick almost any point in history. And look at it. Now, there are some points, like the Holocaust, that's not a good one to pick.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That's a regression.
Right.
There are some times that we regress, but for the most part, I mean, you go a few years after that, and we pulled out of it and defeated that kind of a world view, and you know, but they're very. But people, you know, they try to do the right thing. You know, they try to get the transportation system in place. They try to, and MARTA's I'm going to talk about the rail system, is a very big, bold move to make things happen. Beltline's another one. You know, that's a fantastic.
Like first step, kind of.
First step toward, you know. And now across from us, across from our loft, that place that burned down that's on the Beltline, it's been bought.
Yeah.
And they're doing a development, and a lot of the literature talks about it abutting the belt line. So, it it feeds on itself.
Yeah.
But, you were lucky to go to Japan and see how a true together, everybody has their problems, but a together society works, and not one that's disjointed like ours is. And again, I go back to, I don't want to be overly critical, because the flip side of that is then they, are playing our music and seeing something very fundamentally
like aspirational.
Something fundamentally, speaking to them somehow.
Yeah.
There's something about, so, and I think homogeneity, or whatever the word is, can be a problem.
For sure. Yeah.
It can be, but it's also refreshing.
Yeah.
You've never been to Canada, I don't think.
No, I have not. No.
But Canada's a wonderful place. You don't have the kind of divisions that we have. We have a very us against them society, and you really see it right down to political stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And it just is, it's a shame, whereas in Canada, it's kind of like everybody's going to the same church.
Okay.
And they, they have their issues, but they seem to act more as one. And again, I'm sure you saw that in
Japan, definitely.
So, well, what do you think? How do you?
Well,
what were you, and asking that question?
Yeah.
What were you trying
to elicit, or?
Yeah, why did you really ask that question?
Well, I asked that question to you specifically because when I talked to you about the perpetual motion machine, you were very critical of it, and when your critiques of it made me redesign it several times, just because I thought, well, if that is incorrect, then let me think about how to fix that problem. So I was curious because I wanted to know what you thought, so I could put that through what I think.
In terms of perpetual motion?
Well, just that was it. That was the impetus for wanting me to ask you this question.
Wasn't that?
You remember where it was?
I don't know. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Well,
Are you scared? Are you scared?
No. Well, it's pretty funny, and because of now her expertise, and I'm thinking of the story because of her expertise. So
Great story.
they
I
decided they're going to cook chicken.
Oh.
I think Sharon's heard this story.
I don't know.
I've not heard it. You got to hear this, Kenneth. You probably haven't heard this one.
So what? The two of you, they put the chicken in the oven.
I live by myself.
Well, you live by yourself then.
Or so it appeared.
No. I really did.
No. And so she put the chicken in the oven.
And it was an old boyfriend's brother's girlfriend.
Chicken? What? The chicken? What?
What? Now that I don't even know about. All I know is you put the chicken in the oven, turned the oven on broil,
And went out to buy a Christmas tree.
and went out to buy a Christmas tree.
What's wrong with that?
She came back and the fire truck's out in front of the apartment, and it's because of the smoke coming out of her burned chicken. That's
And her whole
See.
apartment is white foam from the fire extinguisher.
That's lovely.
You white foam? Never. I love that.
oh my God!
That was before you? That was before me. Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
now what apartment was it? Wasn't that was? Oh, that wasn't the. That was a different.
That was the smoke damaged apartment.
Oh,
Wow. Where were you?
In Palatine.
Oh, good. Chicago.
suburb of Chicago.
Palatine?
Palatine.
That's way out.
Palatine.
Yeah, but here, I mean, I said, when she called me, Mom, you won't believe it. I said, Kathy, you did what?
You never used a broiler.
Oh,
Ever.
I never.
I never used a broiler before, so I thought, oh, great. Chicken takes about an hour. We got time. Let's go get a tree.
Were your things ruined from the foam?
Not really. No, it was a mess, though.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
But my chicken was...
It was a white Christmas.
The chicken was destroyed?
Oh, yes.
But were any other apartments damaged?
No. I don't know how, although.
Somebody must have called, I guess.
Well, the smoke alarms had to have gone off, and somebody called, and so she pulled back up to, oh my gosh, fire truck's at the apartment.
I look up, oh my gosh, my windows are open. Oh shit, it's Mom.
Now you have to be careful how telling all your friends about Kathy's
Oh,
chickens.
I won't tell that story. I won't tell that.
Yeah, that was not a good cooking story.
You could read that.
Is he dead?
He is. Hello.
David Foster Wallace was an award-winning American author of novels, essays, and short stories, and a professor of Pomona College in Claremont, California. He was widely known for his 1996 novel, Infinite Jest, which Time included in its all-time 100 greatest novels list, covering the period.
Jest?
Yes.
Do you know?
No, I've never heard that title. I've heard of his name, but I didn't.
That's like his magnum opus.
No, the kids were home. We don't.
Okay.
Could you read the rest?
No.
Los Angeles Times book editor David Euling called Wallace one of the most
influential and
innovative writers of the last 20 years. Wallace's unfinished novel, The Pale King, was published in 2011. A biography. The Pale King
But, I mean,
just came out
but we are in there.
recently.
Most of the time.
2011.
It's just the two of you that maybe.
Yeah, it came out posthumously.
Counter in the kitchen and stuff.
Well, when did
Because
David
it's so
Foster
friendly
Wallace
and
live?
it's so.
Well, he lived until 2008. He was born in 1970, what was it?
Hold on, I was looking.
1973?
Oh, he's current.
1962.
62.
Wow.
He passed away in 2008.
He committed suicide.
I mean, it's just interesting, because different.
One of the most brilliant
times in
minds.
your lives, you do different things.
Amazingly intelligent. His vocabulary is so rich and his knowledge so vast. Listening to him speak about anything is it's completely captivating. He could talk to you about a chair, just the texture of the chair. That boy.
Convulsive therapy.
He suffered from depression.
See that?
So it's interesting as you.
Wow.
You should hear some of his talks that he's given. He was interviewed by Charlie Rose back in the late 90s when Infinite Jest was coming out, and he had a big reputation because of that book. And that interview, just the caliber of their conversation is just like, it's amazing to listen to. Yeah. Because he's so intelligent that he exists in his own world, and when he's speaking, he's not so much talking to Charlie Rose, he's more so talking to himself, and Charlie Rose is just there as like this. Hey, that was the thing proving that you were wrong. To Doraville is 8 miles, and to Lennox is 2.
I was giving her your guys' house.
No way.
You just closed out of it.
I know.
That's not fair.
Well, we'll look at it again tomorrow. There's no way.
This is double jeopardy.
Better
Take this away from me.